Atomic Habits, Chapter 10, How to Find and Fix the Causes of Your Bad Habits. So let's dive in. Every behavior has a surface level craving and a deeper underlying motive. We'll just start off this video from a passage from the book. So I'll go ahead and read that. A craving is just a specific manifestation of a deeper underlying motive. Your brain did not evolve with a desire to smoke cigarettes or to check Instagram or to play video games. At a deep level, you simply want to reduce uncertainty and relieve anxiety, to win social acceptance and approval, or to achieve status. Look at nearly any product that is habit forming, and you will see that it does not create a new motivation, but rather latches on to the underlying motives of human nature. And some examples that he gave is find, love, and reproduce. That could be Tinder. Connect and bond with others. That's browsing Facebook. Win social acceptance and approval. Posting on Instagram, and so on and so forth. So, lastly, he said, your habits are modern day solutions to ancient desires, new versions of old vices. The underlying motive behind human behavior remain the same. The specific habits we perform differ based on the period of history. This is an idea that James Clear has been discussing a lot throughout the book, is that our brain has not changed much from centuries ago. And what this means is what we desired many centuries ago, we still desire it. It just has a coding per se over it, where we have a base desire, but there is also an ancient underlying motive to that desire. Like he mentioned playing video games up here. Playing video games is just the continuation of playing board games. Playing board games is just the continuation of uh, something even more minor, where what he said is achieving status and prestige. That's equivalent to playing video games. So the underlying motive here is achieving status and prestige. So I do agree with him that a lot of our habits are just there to please our ancient underlying motives. And if you look deep into anything, you'll notice that. So moving on, your habits are the solutions to your underlying desires, but they may not be the ideal solution. An example is that one person may smoke cigarettes to reduce stress, while another person may exercise. So you can see how one person is doing something positive to handle his stress or her stress, or while another person is doing something very unhealthy to handle their stress. And what this shows is that it's not your fault that you smoke cigarettes, and it's really just the most convenient method you found for coping with stress at the time. And because it worked so well, you stuck with it. And that just goes to show that you can think of your brain like a simulation machine. It is always hypothesizing, it is always testing scenarios uh, in just the material world and also in real life. So what happens is that if the brain decides that yes, this is a good behavior to keep, then it will become a habit because it's attractive. It feeds the underlying motives that we crave, our ancient desires. And if it feels that the behavior is just simply not worth it, it's dismissed. It's not turned into a habit. A passage that James Clear had on the subject that we just discussed is two people can look at the same cigarette and one feels the urge to smoke while the other is repulsed by the smell. The same cue can spark a good habit or a bad habit depending on your prediction. The cause of your habits is actually the prediction that precedes them. Okay, so now that we have the information of how habits are formed in such a way, how can we reprogram our brains so we can take out the negative habits and replace them with positive habits? And that's exactly what James discusses in the next section, you can make hard habits more attractive if you learn to associate them with a positive experience. Sometimes all you need is a slight mindset shift. For instance, we often talk about everything we have to do in a given day. You have to wake up early for work, you have to make another sales call for your business, you have to cook dinner for your family. Now imagine changing just one word. You don't have to, you get to. You get to wake up early for work, you get to make another sales call for your business, you get to cook dinner for your family. By simply changing one word, you shift the way you view each event. You transition from seeing these behaviors as burdens and turn them into opportunities. The key point is that both versions of reality are true. You have to do these things, and you also get to do them. We can find evidence for whatever mindset we choose. I once heard a story about a man who uses a wheelchair. When asked if it was difficult being confined, he responded, "I'm not confined to my wheelchair, I'm liberated by it. If it wasn't for my wheelchair, I wouldn't be bedbound. I would be bedbound, and never able to leave my house." This shift in perspective completely transformed how he lived each day. Reframing your habits to highlight their benefits rather than their drawbacks is a fast and lightweight way to reprogram your mind and make a habit seem more attractive. I know that was a lot to read, and it's probably a lot to digest as well, but there's just so much wisdom in here. You can really reprogram your mind just by seeing an unattractive habit as a privilege rather than a chore. While we are talking about chores, you could think of it like this. When you're cleaning your house, when you're vacuuming the house, if you think of it like I get to vacuum the house, I get to keep my house clean, it becomes something of a sign of pride in such a way where you take pride in keeping your house clean. Because you get to do these certain actions, it's a privilege. It's something to be prideful about. And I think that's a very important lesson that I'm still trying to learn myself, honestly. Some examples of this is I have a few, and I'll just go through them. So first one is exercise. A troubled mindset could be that, let's say I go to a boxing gym. I could think of it as I need to go to the gym because I'm trying to get better at boxing. I wouldn't say it's such a troubled mindset, but it does make the process of exercising as a chore. So a better mindset could be I get to train tomorrow with other boxers to build endurance and get stronger. Now, when I say what I said in the better mindset, I have a goal, I have a mission. I'm not just going to the gym because I want to get better at boxing. I'm going to the gym to train with other boxers, and I'm going to build endurance, and I'm going to get stronger. That, to me at least, has a sound of something uh, attractive compared to the troubled mindset, which is, I would say, is something I wouldn't want to do, and in the better mindset, something I would want to do. Another example could be college. A troubled mindset is I need to take more college classes. I have so many left before I graduate. Now, that may be true, and you may need to take more classes, but there's a slight shift of mindset that you could perceive the situation through. If I take less classes, but also take some in the summer, I will have more time for myself and graduate around the same time. Now, instead of cramming everything into a spring semester and a fall semester, which is traditional in America, or at least where I live. So what you could do is you could go the non-traditional route where you're taking fall, summer, and spring. Sure, you're taking more uh, time in college. You're using your summertime to take classes, but it's much better than cramming 4 or 5 classes each semester and just being miserable for 3 months. Um, that's how long a semester lasts, 3 or 4 months. Just being miserable for that time. You could split out your work evenly and still have enough leisure time to pursue other things. And these are all examples from my real life, if you couldn't tell. Another one, you could look at a simple problem in life, trouble mindset. My dryer broke down and now I have to waste time buying a new dryer. A better mindset could be my dryer is not heating. Maybe someone online had a similar problem and could show me how to fix it. You're not, from this example, you're not jumping straight to the conclusion of, oh, I'm helpless. I need to go get a brand new dryer. The better mindset shows that, okay, you're hopeful and you're optimistic that you have the capability to fix something that's broken in your life. I know it's just a dryer, but you could look at this from many aspects of your life. If you're feeling mentally unhealthy, instead of just throwing in the towel, you could take a more authoritative approach and say, okay, here are the problems that are causing me to be mentally unhealthy, and here are my solutions to to fix them. So that shows self-reliance and that shows that you have the capability to handle yourself, to take care of yourself. Because the biggest challenge in my life, in my opinion, is overcoming yourself. Once you overcome yourself, there's really no other obstacle in your way. So some examples from the book. It is a large passage, but I'll try to be quick. Finance. Saving money is often associated with sacrifice. However, you can associate it with freedom rather than limitation if you realize one simple truth. Living below your current means increases your future means. The money you save this month increases your purchasing power next month. So the key idea is saving is not a sacrifice. Uh, something, it's a privilege because you get to spend more next time or next month. Meditation. Anyone who has tried meditation for more than 3 seconds knows how frustrating it can be when the next distraction inevitably pops into your mind. You can transform frustration into delight when you realize that each interruption gives you a chance to practice returning to your breath. Distraction is a good thing because you need distractions to practice meditation. Pre-game jitters. Many people feel anxious before delivering a big presentation or competing in an important event. They experience quicker breathing, a faster heart rate, heightened arousal. If we interpret these feelings negatively, then we feel threatened and tense up. If we interpret these feelings positively, then we can respond with fluidity and grace. You can frame I am nervous to I am excited and I'm getting an adrenaline rush to help me concentrate. These little mindset shifts aren't magic, but they can help change the feelings you associate with a particular habit or situation. If you want to take it a step further, you can create a motivation ritual. You simply practice associating your habits with something you enjoy. Then you can use that cue whenever you need a bit of motivation. And here is an example of actually using this method, this motivation ritual method, in somebody's real life. So Ed Lattimore, hope I'm not butchering that last name, a boxer and writer from Pittsburgh, benefited from a similar strategy without knowing it. Odd realization, he wrote. My focus and concentration goes up just by putting my headphones on while writing. I don't even have to play any music. Without realizing it, he was conditioning himself. In the beginning, he put his headphones on, played some music he enjoyed, and did focused work. After doing it 5, 10, 20 times, putting his headphones on became a cue that he automatically associated with increased focus. The craving followed naturally. The key to finding and fixing the causes of your bad habits is to reframe the associations you have about them. It's not easy, but if you can reprogram your predictions, you can transform a hard habit into an attractive one. So these were some of the key ideas from chapter 10. I'm thinking about if I want to add anything more to this, but I think it's pretty in depth. One thing I would say is that I know that throughout this book, you're given many solutions to your problems, but you shouldn't, and I may be just talking to myself here, but if this applies to you, then more power to you. You shouldn't try to apply every single solution all at once into your life because that's just going to cause you to burn out even further or be stressed out even more than you already are. The whole point of atomic habits is that they're small changes. They're 1% changes that happen over time. So there's no need to just read the entire book and start applying everything you see in here all at once because that's not how it's intended to be in my opinion. The way the chapters are split up is in a way that okay, if you want to apply a certain strategy, you can refer to this chapter, and when you're ready for the next strategy, you have a whole reference in the next chapter. So it's not a continuous thing. You take what you can and then you add as you need to. And I'm still learning that because I have the habit of just cramming all good things I see. And when you try to cram everything good, a little bit of negativity seeps in. And the thing about negativity is that it expands over time if not dealt with properly. So what I'm trying to say is you don't want to overwork your brain because it will turn against you until you say, okay, you messed up and now you're going to hold back. It's from my college example, it's basically what I did, right? I mean, I tried to cram a lot of classes at once into one semester. And what happened? I was burned out. I wasn't focused at work. I wasn't exercising as I used to. And I'm actually talking about this semester right now, so I'm pretty burned out. I have exams this week, next week, and God knows when else. The whole point is that if you try to cram anything in life, it just tends to have a negative outcome. You know, it's when I'm cramming college classes, I'm not necessarily learning a lot. I'm just marking, tick marking things off of a paper of how many classes I have left. So I think it is a better mindset just to enjoy life and take things easily. You know, I mean, none of this has to be as serious as it may seem at first. I don't know. I'm just going off on a tangent. This was chapter 10, how to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. And I'm not sure when I'll be doing chapter 11, but I hope to do it soon. So until then, take care and have a nice day.